Gardening, it's a labor of love, isn't it? Nurturing these plants, watching them grow, it's deeply fulfilling. But sometimes, despite our best intentions, we end up hindering our gardens rather than helping them flourish. You see, there are common gardening habits that many believe are beneficial, but in reality, they can be detrimental to your plant's health and growth. You might think you're doing everything right, but what if your everyday routines are secretly sabotaging your garden's potential? Don't worry, we've all been there. That's why I'm here to guide you. Welcome to Don't Do This Guide, the channel where we help you grow smarter, not harder. If you're passionate about gardening and want to avoid the common pitfalls that kill your progress, hit that subscribe button and let's dig into the truth. Now let's start with a mistake almost every gardener has made at some point: overwatering. It's a common misconception that more water equals more growth. In reality, overwatering can suffocate your plants. Plant roots need air to breathe just as much as they need water. When the soil is constantly waterlogged, it creates an environment where harmful bacteria and fungi can thrive, leading to root rot. Root rot is the decaying of roots and can kill your plants if left unchecked. A sure sign of overwatering is when your plant's leaves start to yellow and wilt, despite the soil being damp. You might even notice a foul smell coming from the soil. So, how do you avoid this? Water deeply, but less frequently. Stick your finger into the soil up to your knuckle. If it feels dry, it's time to water. Remember, different plants have different water requirements. Pay attention to the specific needs of your plants and adjust your watering schedule accordingly. Improve your soil's drainage by adding organic matter like compost or well-rotted manure. By understanding the signs and adjusting your watering habits, you can ensure your plants get the right amount of moisture they need to flourish. Now let's talk about the foundation of any successful garden: the soil. Healthy soil is more than just dirt. It's a living ecosystem teeming with beneficial organisms essential for plant growth. Ignoring your soil health is like building a house on a shaky foundation. It's just not going to end well. Different soils have different compositions, pH levels, and nutrient content. That's why it's crucial to get to know your soil before you start planting. A simple soil test can reveal a wealth of information about your soil's health. Armed with this knowledge, you can then amend your soil accordingly. If your soil is too acidic, you can add lime to raise the pH level. If it's lacking in nutrients, you can add compost or well-rotted manure to replenish its fertility. Avoid using harsh chemical pesticides and herbicides that can kill off beneficial organisms. Think of your soil as a living, breathing entity that needs your care and attention. By taking the time to understand and improve your soil health, you'll be rewarded with healthier, more vigorous plants and a more productive garden overall. Let's move on to another crucial aspect of gardening: fertilizing. Just like we need a balanced diet to thrive, so do our plants. But using the wrong type of fertilizer or applying it at the wrong time can harm our plants. Different fertilizers contain different ratios of essential nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, often labeled as NPK on fertilizer packaging. These nutrients play different roles in plant growth. The key to successful fertilizing is understanding the specific needs of your plants and choosing the right fertilizer accordingly. Timing is everything when it comes to fertilizing. Generally, it's best to fertilize in the spring when plants are actively growing. Over-fertilizing can be just as harmful as under-fertilizing. Too much fertilizer can lead to a buildup of salts in the soil, which can damage plant roots. Always follow the instructions on the fertilizer packaging and err on the side of caution. It's better to under-fertilize than to over-fertilize. Now let's talk about pruning. It might seem counterintuitive, but cutting back your plants can actually encourage healthier growth. However, pruning without a purpose can do more harm than good. It's essential to understand why we prune and how to do it correctly. Pruning helps remove dead, diseased, or damaged branches, allowing the plant to focus its energy on new growth. It can also improve air circulation within the plant, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. And of course, pruning helps shape the plant and keep it from becoming too unruly. Before you pick up your pruning shears, take a moment to observe the plant. Identify any dead, diseased, or crossing branches that need to be removed. When pruning, always make clean cuts just above a leaf node. Different plants have different pruning requirements. Research the specific pruning needs of your plants and prune accordingly. Timing is crucial. Pruning at the wrong time of year can weaken the plant. By understanding the basics and taking a thoughtful approach, you can help your plants thrive. Now let's address a common mistake that many beginner gardeners make: planting too close together. Overcrowding can create a whole host of problems for your plants. When plants are too close together, they have to compete for essential resources: sunlight, water, and nutrients. This competition can stunt their growth, making them weaker and more susceptible to pests and diseases. Overcrowding also reduces air circulation, creating a humid environment that's ideal for fungal diseases to thrive. A good rule of thumb is to read the plant label, which usually provides spacing guidelines. If you're short on space, consider growing vertically. By providing them with enough room to grow, you'll be rewarded with healthier, more vigorous plants and a more bountiful harvest. Now, let's talk about a factor that's often overlooked, but absolutely crucial for plant growth: sunlight. Different plants have different sunlight requirements. Some plants, like sunflowers and tomatoes, need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day to thrive, while others, like hostas and ferns, prefer shady conditions. Before you plant anything, take some time to observe your garden throughout the day. Identify areas that receive full sun, partial shade, and full shade. Once you know how much sunlight your garden receives, you can choose plants that are well suited to those conditions. By providing them with the right amount of light, you're giving them the energy they need to grow and thrive. Now let's address a controversial topic: pesticides. While pesticides can be effective in controlling pests and diseases, they can also have negative impacts on the environment and human health. Many pesticides are non-selective, meaning they kill beneficial insects like bees and ladybirds, along with the harmful ones. So what's the alternative? There are many natural and effective ways to control pests and diseases in your garden. One approach is to create a healthy ecosystem that encourages beneficial insects to thrive. Another approach is to use natural pest control methods, such as insecticidal soap, neem oil, or diatomaceous earth. Prevention is always better than cure. By choosing disease-resistant plant varieties and practicing good garden hygiene, you can minimize the risk of pests and diseases. By avoiding harsh chemical pesticides and opting for natural alternatives, you can create a thriving garden that's safe for you, your family, and the environment. Now let's talk about a simple yet often overlooked gardening practice: crop rotation. Growing the same type of plant in the same spot year after year can deplete the soil of essential nutrients, making it more susceptible to pests and diseases. Different plants have different nutrient requirements. By rotating your crops, you're ensuring that the soil has a chance to replenish those nutrients. Crop rotation also helps to disrupt the life cycles of pests and diseases. A simple method is to divide your garden into 4 beds and rotate the plant families within those beds each year. Crop rotation can make a big difference in the long run, helping to maintain soil fertility and reduce pest and disease pressure. Now, let's clear up a common misconception about watering. Watering the leaves. Plants absorb water through their roots, not their leaves. When you water the leaves, the water droplets can act as magnifying glasses, intensifying the sun's rays and scorching the leaves. Wet leaves create a humid environment that's ideal for fungal diseases to thrive. The key is to water the soil directly, delivering the water straight to the roots where it's needed most. You can use a watering can with a rose attachment or a soaker hose to deliver water slowly and deeply to the root zone. Remember, watering the leaves might seem like you're giving your plants a refreshing drink, but it's actually more beneficial to focus on watering the soil directly. Lastly, let's talk about mulch, a gardener's best friend. Mulch is simply a layer of organic or inorganic material that's spread over the soil surface around plants. It can be made from a variety of materials, such as bark chippings, wood chips, straw, compost, or gravel. Mulching offers a multitude of benefits for your garden. It helps to suppress weeds by blocking their access to sunlight. It helps to retain soil moisture, reducing the need for frequent watering. It also helps to regulate soil temperature, keeping the roots cool in summer and warm in winter. However, over-mulching can actually harm your plants. A thick layer of mulch can prevent water and air from reaching the roots, suffocating them. When applying mulch, aim for a layer that's about 2 to 3 inches deep. By finding the right balance, you can reap the many benefits of mulch without harming your plants. There you have it. The top gardening habits that could be hurting your plant growth without you even realizing it. Overwatering, ignoring soil health, using the wrong fertilizer, Pruning improperly, planting too close together, neglecting sunlight, relying on chemical pesticides, not rotating crops, watering leaves instead of soil, and over-mulching, these are all common mistakes that can easily be avoided. By understanding the science behind these habits and making simple adjustments to your gardening routine, you can create a healthier, more productive, and more fulfilling garden. Remember, gardening is a journey of learning and experimentation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment below, and share it with fellow gardeners who might need this wake-up call. Happy gardening!